So I don't know if you can hear that sound, but something definitely ain't right. Either it's the mating call of a whale, or we got something going on in the rear of the truck here. We're gonna have to take a look at that. Yeah. That ain't right. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flat Thunder channel. My name's Andy, and this is a big pile of mismatched, mixed up parts that we got here for the old Super Duty. We got Motorcraft brake pads, contents made in Mexico. We have a Centric Parts rebuilt brake caliper. Rebuilt brake caliper with bracket. Nice. It says USA. I don't know. Another brake caliper, less the bracket. This one here says made, majority content made in USA. And then we have, oddly enough, some AC Delco Professional coated replacement brake rotors. Made in China, unfortunately. So, yeah. Let's hope they put some carbon in this steel, and it's not like the other Chinese things that we bought recently, a pile of garbage. For some reason, I bought these previously. We're talking a long time ago when we had some brake issues and never ended up installing them. I think we may have picked them up as spare parts because they were a good deal. Like this one here had a core return. We never returned a core. We probably got it really at a really good discounted price. Same with this Ford Motorcraft brake caliper. We probably got it at such a good price that we didn't even worry about having a core return, or one wasn't required. So, AC Delco, Ford Motorcraft, Centric, and we got all the parts here from across the world that should make this thing stop again without going. I think that's pretty close. Stick with us, I'll show you what we're gonna get into. If you aren't already 100% sure if this brake was causing issues, give it a quick visual inspection. You can look around and you can see some things on here, and you can also smell some things. So you get in here, yep, I can smell the burnt smell of this brake caliper hanging and the pads burning. You don't want to get in there and suck it in, but I mean, give it a quick smell. If it's really bad, you don't even have to get close to it. You can just smell it from a distance. This one was only lightly hanging. You can also look at the surface, like you can see where the coating on the caliper actually burned itself off because it got too hot. So yeah, this one's definitely stuck. Come on. Okay. Guess I should have done this before I loosened the brake line. This is conveniently dripping on my arm. Woo. I have to take it and use the whole foot. If you can get it in there. There we go. See what's behind door number 1. Hopefully not a bunch of gear oil. Here you go. What do you guys think? Gear oil or no gear oil? Please no gear oil. Please no gear oil. Hey! Doesn't look like there's a bunch of gear oil in there. So if you weren't aware, Super Duties have a hub like heavier duty trucks. There's a fixed spindle that sticks out, and this is the moving hub. The moving hub has roller bearings in it, and then it also has a seal in the back here that likes to leak. And when it leaks, your parking brake will be completely covered in gear oil, and gear oil will be coming out the back of this thing. Also could indicate you got a bearing problem. So luckily, these shoes are dry, need cleaned off, a little dusty, dirty, but I don't see, they're not wet. They're not crusty with a bunch of gear oil. So that's a good sign. All we really need to do here is clean this, get our new rotor on there, put some lube on there so it doesn't stick to the hub, and then we'll be able to start putting her back together. Here, if you look at this, can you see what I'm looking at here? You see this? This likely was a Chinese rotor as well, and partially due to overheating, but also Chinesian. It gets inconsistent spots in the material. At least that's what I think those are. Inconsistent spots in the material where there's like pits. Now, part of it could be from overheating, but I think part of it is also poor material quality. Get like inclusions in the material, and as it wears and gets hot, it flakes out, pits out. So, time for this one to go bye-bye. Lube this up so they don't get stuck on there. I don't like beating rotors off. Ta-da! On this side, we need to reuse this crusty bracket because the replacement caliper just came with the caliper itself. Before we take it apart, let's look in here. You can see the outside pad is quite a bit thicker than the inside pad, and what's happening is the pistons were getting stuck out and constantly grinding this off instead of relaxing and letting this go back in. So that's a problem. You get this guy off of here. I believe I have a special thin wrench for that because the traditional won't fit in there. That's probably part of the problem. This pin's frozen, not letting it center. See how this one does this? This guy, not so much. It's welded in there. Of course, it's the side that we don't have the new bracket for. Ta-da! Ray Besto's part number. This is the correct piece here. Get our old dial calipers out and measure this, and we are at 391. Just so happens to be 25/64, roughly. 25/64. Alright, we worked it a little more. You can shove the new pin all the way in. You can rotate it and like a glove. I think we're good to go here. If you don't make these move freely, you're wasting your time. You might as well throw your new caliper in the garbage. Luckily, in all my goodies, I was able to find some more booties. These are different than the front ones, which they only have 2 bellows instead of 3. So we got new booties. Got the bag that came with the new guide pins and bolts. This part number H15209 was the new guide pins. The booties, I don't know for sure. I think they came in a different kit, and I may have pitched the box. Screwed to kind of more of a weather seal there. Should squirt it out when it gets in there. If not, it'll fill any of the voids that it doesn't seal on. I've tried torquing these before and it's just ungodly, way too much torque. So we're just going to give it the old AccuTorque wrench. All I gotta do is get this back on the truck. It goes. Oh, 203. Woo! Started getting this little confined space. All right, now all we gotta do is get the brake line back on there, bleed this bad boy, and we'll be good to go. But here's a perfect example. I have all these pieces because I sourced them and got them when they were on sale, a good deal, or I could pick them up cheap. Perfect example underneath on the other side, and I'll show you. You can do this too. It's probably going to make a lot of people say, no, you can't. I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. You just have to know what you're doing, and it will work. And I arrived there largely because I found remanufactured Motorcraft brand brake calipers for like 18 bucks a piece, and there was no core charge. So I got them, but there was one special little caveat, and I'll show you what that is. At the driver's side rear wheel brake caliper, and I'm going to give you bonus points if you can tell me what is wrong with this brake caliper from this view. And go. Drop down in the comment section. Let me know right now. Don't cheat. What's wrong with this? Alright, if you guessed it, the brake bleeder screw is on the wrong side. It's on the bottom of the brake caliper. It's supposed to be on the top. This brake caliper is symmetrical other than the bleeder. So from the passenger side to the driver's side, this just switches from here to there. So what happened is I must have got a deal on passenger side brake calipers, and I put one of those on the driver's side. And why is it on the driver's side? Well, you can do this by flipping it upside down and bleeding it before you mount it on the truck. So this is very much acceptable and doable. It could give you headaches later in the world if you have to bleed it, but all you have to do is turn it upside down, put something in there to keep the pistons from popping out, and bleed it as you normally would. So that's how cheap I am. 18 bucks a brake caliper. I'll do that every single day. I started on the other side and things are going great until these pieces fell out of there. And this front one here is not held in place where it's supposed to be. So I think what's happening is, I think this happened before, is the dust cover probably rusted out and let that fall through. Here's the problem, the holes rusted too big. They're all topped off. We're a set of wheels away from doing a test drive. As per usual, the Lyle one-man brake bleeder was the real champion of today's video. We did one thing that we just started doing within the last year. We gravity bled both of the rear brake calipers by leaving the brake bleeders open, pumping the pedal a couple times until fluid started coming out of the driver's side, because it's the closest. Could be the passenger side, but it was the driver's side in this case. Capped that up, pumped it a couple more times, it started coming out the passenger side, and then we went to the traditional one-man bleeder. So gravity bleeding, that is really where it's at. We only had to pump 1 cup through each side after the initial gravity bleeding, and the brakes were all ready to rock and roll. We went ahead and pumped an additional cup through each side just because we were here, we had everything out, and the fluid looked a little bit black when it was coming out. It was really pretty dirty, so it was a nice little fluid flush. Cycle that through there, get some fresh fluid in the system. Pop the wheels back on and we'll be ready for a test drive. Pay no attention to what's missing back there. Close your eyes. Check out this rotor. This is on the driver's side. This side wasn't sticking. It was working just fine other than the parking brake was messed up. But look at the surface on this thing. It's touching here and we're working here. Not doing anything here. A lot of pitting and stuff falling off. I don't know. I mean, is that this right here? This line, I guess I get if the pad was wore funny. But why are all this pitting and undercutting? It's weird. Let's go burnishing these brakes. Pretty much the same process as we always do. Let's see. But I don't even remember. Gosh, my brain's gone melting now. We stopped, that's a good sign. We need to do 3 medium stops from about 35 mile an hour, and then we're going to do 1 hard stop in our quick little tour around the block. Here we go. What that does is that seats in the brake pads to the brake rotor, gets everything all nice and cozy. Oh, it's nice. This old girl hasn't been out of the garage since before Christmas, and it is definitely April now. Because you want to get up to speed. And make a nice medium pace controlled stop. There's 1. You know what, I might do 5. I don't remember. I don't remember if I always do 3 or 5. What do you guys think? I feel like it's 3. There's 2. And we're gonna go for our hard stop. Worked pretty good. The fact that I get a turbo, watch the turbo gauge. I wonder if we got a lot of turbo flutter on off Excel. Might be stuck in a full boost. Uh-oh. And the turbo vanes might be stuck full boost. I really expect it to go to 30 psi on a hard Excel with no real load. It's weird.